Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to go underground, literally, to explore the hidden world of your home's plumbing. It's this silent, invisible network that, when it fails, well, it can cause some of the loudest and most expensive problems you can possibly imagine as a homeowner. All right, let's just dive right in with a question that might hit a little close to home for some of you. You know that strange gurgling noise or that drain that just seems to take forever? What if that's not just a minor annoyance? What if your house is actually trying to tell you something important? For most of us, we never ever think about our plumbing. It's just there. But beneath the surface, there's this silent battle raging. It's a system under constant pressure, from its age, from the environment outside, from just everyday use. And when it finally gives up, oh boy, it can fail in a really big and really expensive way. Okay, so to really get what's at stake here, let's start by exploring this hidden network. I want you to think of it like your home's circulatory system, right? It's bringing in the good stuff, fresh water, and carrying away all the waste, day in and day out. Now, to really see these forces in action, we're going to look at a case study. It's pretty fascinating, actually. We're going to see how the story of just one town in Michigan can teach us a ton about the hidden pressures and challenges facing our own homes, no matter where we live. So yeah, our case study is Dearborn Heights, Michigan. And why there? Well, it's because the local conditions there create what is basically a perfect storm of plumbing challenges. The problems they face are kind of like a magnified version of what pipes everywhere have to deal with. So what's going on here? It's like an environmental battlefield for pipes. You've got Michigan's intense freeze-thaw cycles, which make the ground literally expand and contract, putting incredible stress on rigid pipes. Then, underneath all that, you have this shifting, clay-heavy soil that acts like a vise, squeezing and sometimes even sharing pipes over time. And to top it all off, you've got a lot of older homes built between the 50s and 70s with aging materials, plus mineral-heavy water from the city that just speeds up corrosion from the inside. It's a multi-front war on the entire plumbing system. And this right here, this is the core of the problem, the materials. See, a lot of these homes from that mid-century boom used galvanized steel pipes. The idea was solid, right? A zinc coating was supposed to protect the steel. But over decades, that coating wears away, and then the pipe just starts to rust from the inside out. It's a ticking time bomb. Now, of course, modern materials like copper and PEX, which is this flexible plastic tubing, are way more resilient. But there are still millions of homes out there relying on these old, aging arteries. And here's the really crucial point. The damage is almost always invisible. You can't see it happening, you can't see the rust building up inside, or the pipe walls getting thinner and thinner. You don't notice the water flow getting restricted. Until, one day, you suddenly have terrible water pressure, or gross, discolored water, or even worse, a tiny pinhole leak that turns into an absolute flood. So your plumbing system can't exactly talk to you, right? But it absolutely sends out distress signals when it's in trouble. And learning how to decode these signals, well, that's the key to stopping a little problem from turning into a full-blown catastrophe. Okay, so what are these signs? What should you actually be looking for and listening for? Let's run through some of the most common warning signs that your system is failing, and we'll start with the strange sounds your house might be making. All right, first up, gurgling toilet sounds. You know what I'm talking about. That weird gurgle from the toilet when nobody's even used it? Yeah, it might sound a little funny, but it's often a really bad sign. It usually means there's a blockage somewhere down in your main drain line, and air is literally fighting its way back up past the water. It's a cry for help from your sewer system. Okay, so we've covered sound. Now let's talk about sight. Discolored or rusty water. If you turn on the tap, especially first thing in the morning, and the water comes out brown or kind of reddish, that is a classic textbook symptom of those old galvanized pipes we were just talking about. It means they're corroding on the inside and flaking actual rust particles right into your water. Yikes. And hey, the warning signs aren't always inside the house. You gotta look outside too. If you notice a patch of your yard that's suddenly way greener than the rest, or it's just soggy and wet even though it hasn't rained, that's a big clue. It often points to a break in the main water line or sewer line buried under your lawn, leaking water and nutrients right into the soil. And finally, we have the silent alarm, your water bill. If you suddenly get a bill that's way higher than normal and you know you haven't been using more water, that is a massive red flag. It almost always means you have a hidden leak. Your water meter is ticking away, counting water that you're not even using because it's escaping somewhere, in a wall, under your foundation, somewhere you can't see it. All right, Now that we know the problems, let's get to the cool part, the professional's modern toolkit. Seriously, the technology that plumbers use today to diagnose and fix these things is pretty incredible. We're talking high-def sewer cameras that can literally see inside your pipes and solutions that go way, way beyond a simple plunger. Okay, one of the most powerful tools in that toolkit is something called hydrojetting. The best way to think about it is it's not like just unclogging a drain. It's like pressure washing your pipes from the inside out. It uses these super high pressure streams of water to just obliterate blockages, tree roots, all that gunt. It doesn't just poke a hole, it scours the entire pipe wall totally clean. And this comparison really drives the point home. A traditional snake, that just kind of pokes a hole through a clog, right? A lot of the time it leaves debris and gunk behind. But hydrojetting, it scours the entire pipe wall, removing the whole blockage and restoring the pipe to its full original flow. It's really the difference between a temporary patch and a long-term solution. And the best part is, the whole process for getting this stuff done is actually super straightforward and transparent now. It's all designed to put you in control. You call and describe the issue, they come out and do a thorough inspection, often with those little cameras we mentioned, and then they give you a clear, upfront price before any work starts. You approve it, they do the repair, clean everything up, and test it to make sure the problem is actually solved. Okay, so for our last section, we're going to talk about the final step in all this. It's really about shifting your whole mindset, moving away from just reacting to emergencies, and instead thinking about how to proactively strengthen your home's entire system, from repair to reinforcement. And this table here lays out the two approaches perfectly. On one side, you have the reactive, short-term fix. That's like clearing a single clog or patching a tiny leak. It gives you temporary relief, but you know the problem's probably going to come back. On the other side, you have the proactive, long-term upgrade, like a whole home repiping. That's about system reliability, better water pressure, and even increasing your property value. So the question is, are you putting on a bandage or are you looking for a cure? And really, that's the whole point. Proactive upgrades aren't just an expense, they're an investment in your peace of mind. Think about it. The cost of a planned upgrade done on your schedule is almost always a fraction of what it costs to deal with an emergency flood, the water damage, the cleanup, all of it. It's about preventing those catastrophic failures before they ever happen. And this way of thinking isn't just for your pipes either. It applies to your major appliances too. They all have a finite lifespan. Take your standard water heater tank. On average, it's really only designed to last about 8 to 12 years. After that, the risk of it failing, and I mean really failing and leaking everywhere, goes up dramatically. Just knowing these timelines is a huge part of being a proactive homeowner. So let's bring it all home. The next time you hear that weird gurgle, or see that drain moving just a little too slowly, or you open up a water bill that makes you do a double take, listen. Listen closely. Your home is telling you a story. It's talking to you. The only question is, are you going to investigate that hidden world behind your walls now, while it's still a whisper? Or are you going to wait until it becomes a shout?